Welcome back to Shop Quinky. My name is Moxie Rose. I am a sex and kink educator, and I am the spokesperson for Shop Quinky. I had the pleasure of talking with Mari, who is one of our VIP content creators. And after spending 20 years as a life coach, they found their way into sex work and content creation in their mid-50s. And there is no sign of them slowing down now. Let's meet the creator.
Mari, you are one of our content creators, and I took a look at your the pre-interview little questionnaire that we fill out. I went and kind of poked around your content a little bit, and I love it. And one of the things that kind of stood out to me was your answer about the type of content creation that you do and how long you've been doing it. So before we dive into that, Mari, just kind of introduce yourself. Tell us, what type of content you currently make, what you're going to be doing on Shop Quinky, and where people can find you right now.
So I am a professional goddess. I provide primarily one-on-one experiences. I had a friend introduce me to the world of phone sex about a year and a half ago, and I got curious. She said I'd be good at it. And my life in the vanilla world, I've been a business coach for over 20 years. My work as a professional goddess actually retired me from business coaching. I am now 100% in the vanilla world, I do mindset coaching.
Yeah.
In the spicy world, I also play in the mind. I have fully tapped into my dominant energy, my right to just show up, be myself, and get paid. I spend a lot of one-on-one time via sexting, phone calls, and one-on-one cam sessions, helping good boys have a good time.
Had you had any experience kind of doing anything of a kinky nature before you kind of found your way into the content creation portion of that?
No. That's what is so stunning about all of this. Because when my friend said, I think you'd be good at it, I'm like, what on earth about me suggests to you that I would be any good at that? And she's like, well, you're bossy. You're comfortable telling people what to do. And I'm a good listener. So I dove into this work with a kinky dictionary at my right hand and a kinky terminology guide at my left hand, constantly saying, what does that mean? And what does this mean? And what is that? And it was so much fun. I'm 58, so I got started at 56. 56 years old, coming into a world that is so wild. Constant surprise and delight experiences. This is a dream come true.
And I love that you are comfortable sharing your age, because one of the things as an educator I hear the most when we address, people's comfort levels and what's holding them back from what. And so often I come up against I'm already this age, or I'm too old to be doing this. I'm like, what is too old to be doing what? Having a fulfilling part of your life that you didn't have before? Too old for what? And I kind of love that you are shattering that image for people, that there is no, okay, now what do you got? Because age certainly isn't going to be the factor. So now what? And I kind of I love that at 56 years old, you just find your way into that. And I commend your friend for being comfortable, having that conversation with you and kind of opening that door to you. Because, otherwise we wouldn't have the joy of having you here.
That friend, I owe her so much, because she was very brave. She's been doing adult content for 12, 13 years. And she was really open with me about what she was doing. She knew I wouldn't be judgmental about it.
Yeah.
But that her saying she thought I'd be good at it, me being open and curious enough to go play, it changed my life, Moxie. Because I didn't just discover that I have a dominant side to my personality. I went from being single for over 30 years to being in a relationship with a submissive man. And we just moved in with each other a month ago. So
I love that.
Like,
Congratulations. I love that
thank
for
you.
you. I like the journey of like everybody finding their way to that. Like that's,
Yes.
and figuring out how to do it in a way that is so fulfilling for you, that you are kind of enjoying every step of the way, from learning about it to doing it to creating content. So the more lifestyle coaching stuff that you do, the more vanilla stuff, are you finding that it's like difficult to balance the two of those? Do you ever worry about those lines being crossed between one another?
It is, well, the mask, I do want to keep things separate.
Yeah.
Uh, it wouldn't, everyone, I've read every comment there is, like, to say that, like, if you think you're going to be able to keep all of this a secret, you're crazy. I know that things could happen, and the worlds could come crashing together. If that happens, we'll deal with it. Like, it's not going to be the end of the world, but I do keep things very separate. And there's a part of me that doesn't like that.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that wants to be open and easygoing about it, but not there yet. There yet.
And that's honestly, that journey is so personal and so up to each person. And sometimes keeping it separate doesn't even have to do with like the worry of people finding out necessarily. Sometimes it just makes it a little easier to keep your jobs organized, to like, okay, I am in this headspace. I am in this headspace over here.
I do have the advantage of having been a content creator for over 20 years. I've been a blogger, podcaster since 2002. And I have always had more than one niche. So just the act of running separate businesses over the years has taught me to be organized. And so I just brought that same skill set to creating the world of Mari, the website, the socials, the different platforms that I'm active on. That's all in a separate virtual space from everything that I do as a vanilla creator. That skill set was already there, so thank goodness for that.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. You already kind of came into it with a good template for that. So obviously navigating the world of, social media and regularly putting out content is something that you were already very familiar with because you've been doing this in one form or another for a long time.
Yes.
So what has been the challenge for you, or like a hurdle that was kind of unexpected when it came to doing this type of content?
I think I still struggle with being consistent with content creation because I do one-on-one work with clients on a regular basis. If let's say I've got, 10,000 words to spend today. Am I going to spend it interacting or am I going to spend it recording? And I don't always prioritize the recording, to be honest. But I want to continue to be pushed in that direction, because one of the things that is so appealing about content creation is passive income.
Mm-hmm.
I in my vanilla world, coaching is the same thing. I get paid to meet one-on-one with a client, or I can create a digital resource and sell it to hundreds of people. Like, the same skill sets exist, and I like passive income. I like working once and making money lots of times. So
that's a very work smarter, not harder. Yeah.
Yes. But this world is so wild. I'm sure you're familiar. Like, I stumbled into financial domination. A big old, oh shit, like, this is freaking awesome, because now it breaks all the templates for me to say, if I spend 1,000 words on content, that could be making me money for years and years down the road, versus if I spend 1,000 words in a session, that might make me this much money. Well, with financial domination, this much money is like, woo, like crazy.
Yeah.
So it is, I'm very I'm very attentive to my energy and to the energy of the day and the energy of the clients that show up. Because, there's a day where I might spend one-on-one time with a handful of good boys and, make $300. And then there's another day where I might spend half that amount of time with one good boy and walk away with 1,500. And then there's days where like I'm just better off creating some content because the good boys are on my nerves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can watch the recording later where you can't talk back.
Exactly. Well, I think it's good for people to kind of, constantly be aware of those kind of like, okay, how much energy, time am I willing to dedicate to each day? And how do I want to kind of, delegate that throughout my day? And I commend you for kind of having a layout for that, because that's, especially in this type of content, you don't really realize how kind of weighing on you it can eventually be, how tired you are, until you kind of are like, oh wow, I need a minute, I need a break. And it's because they just you go 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 go, you're having fun, you don't really realize that because you're having fun you're still working, and then all of a sudden you're like burning the candle at both ends, so to speak.
Yeah.
So financial domination, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that is one that even people within the kink community get very hung up on, because it is a very unique on its own. It has a lot of similarities with other areas of kink, and trade-offs between a service offered or somebody paying for it, things like that. But financial domination is one that people go, okay, one more time from the top, and you can explain it over and over and over, and they're like, that works. We're like, yeah, no, that works. Like, and that's all you do. Like, yeah, that's all you do. It's just, so have you found that the people that do know that you do sort of like financial domination, do you find that is one that you're like, okay, let me explain this again and you let me know where I lost you?
Are you talking about explaining it to the men who seek it?
Or I mean, both if it's a different answer, because sometimes clients come into that kind of stuff only knowing some of what they're getting themselves into, and then there's kind of that back and forth negotiation of like boundaries and things like that.
Yeah. I discovered that financial domination really does defy description. And my experience of findom with different men is there's a huge variety. There's a good boy who hits me up every now and then, who he just sends me $100 and $200 at a time because I tell him to. And I just say, pay me now, pay me more, do better, David. God damn it, you're pissing me off. You're wasting my time. Fuck you. He gets off on being yelled at, disrespected. Hell yes, give me more, And then when he hits his boundary, whether it's a financial boundary or he nutted, like whatever the goal was, it is always the goal to nut. Even my experiences with him are different, like his moods. But then I have other guys for whom financial domination is $10 and $20 at a time in the midst of all kinds of other conversations.
Yeah.
I love it that everything is so different. The day that any kink or fetish becomes textbook predictable, I'm bored out of my fucking mind. I can't do boring, repetitive stuff. It doesn't matter how much money you're giving me. And people always say bullshit. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I've got the proof. I've got the receipts of me either refunding somebody or just saying, I don't want any more. I'm done with you. You're boring.
Yeah.
Like you can do a lot, but don't fucking bore me.
Yeah.
Well,
and I feel like the performance that is put on when you are genuinely enjoying your time is so much more authentic. So you could be making that money. They could still be paying you, but you are going to be better at what you are doing when you are genuinely having fun and invested. You're not feeling like it's just going through the motions and just, and I love that. Yeah. I love that.
Yes.
And I like that I like that people will kind of get a chance to be able to hear from somebody that does financial domination, that it's not necessarily in the realm of like, I think in my experience, a lot of people, when they think of somebody providing finances to somebody else in any sort of capacity like that, where they're kind of just throwing money at them, that they almost think there's, oh, sugar daddy and sugar baby. And like, that's how this goes. It's like, no, no, no. There's a lot of different ways that that can look. And it doesn't have to be this, like, oh, I'm just the sugar baby, that like,
Yeah.
yes, that's its own form of like financial kind of play, but very different from financial domination, and different from somebody that is kind of wielding that just authoritative manner around it, rather than the like, can I please have this? It's the like, come on, give it, fork it over.
Yeah. Pay me.
Right,
And
exactly. Pay me.
it's my most financially prolific financial domination client. There was no disrespect. There were no demands. There was him sending me money and me giggling about it. Like, the more I giggled about the money, the faster he was sending tributes. And that went on for like a whole month. It was like $4,000. I never even spoke to the man. It was all via texting and virtual tributes. It was insane how I laughed with joy when he was doing his 2020, 2020, 20. And it's like, and then when he was done, he was done.
I love that.
And it was just like, every once in a while we'll message each other, and I just love on him, because I know he gets off on the surprise and delight of the woman.
Yeah.
And I don't think that all of the women he plays with are dominant. I think maybe there are like more sugar baby style relationships in the mix, but he seems to reset about every 30, 45 days, and he plays with someone else. And I'm just so glad he swung by my place, because that was fun.
Oh, I like it. And it's such a niche, it's not the only one, but it is such a niche area that it's really kind of nice that it even exists, where you can find somebody that what they want is so unique, and yet you have somebody that can provide what they want that is that unique of a thing. And it just makes that like perfect symbiotic relationship that provides you what you want to do, provides them what they want. And that's kind of just, there's not really a better working relationship than that.
Yeah. That's not the only thing I do. Findom
So tell me about what you do. Tell me a little bit about all the different facets.
Primarily, my favorite thing is to develop an ongoing relationship with a virtual submissive. These are often men, anywhere from 35 to 75, often married, sometimes single. Sometimes the much older gentlemen are single, but they're in situations where they do not have a dominant partner and they have this submissive kink, and they are looking for somebody who will take the time to get to know them, make demands on them to submit. And sometimes we're role playing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm painting a visualization for them. Sometimes we're just talking and dreaming about what would it be like if we were in a female-led relationship. What would your day be like? What would your life be like? What would it be open on my side, not your side? Would I be cuckolding you? Would you, what would that look like? What would that feel like? And just, I love the longer relationships where I get to know them. And then I can start to, play those fantasies. Like,
you start to get to know, how to customize it for them specifically.
Yes. Yeah. And that is sometimes financial domination, because they really love to be reminded about money being a dynamic in our relationship. But sometimes money never comes up. They are paying for sessions.
Yeah.
They are paying for, they're saying, I would like a half hour of your time. Here's your tribute.
Yeah.
But beyond that, we never talk about money.
It's not the
And
centerpiece to the play. It's just
right.
them paying for your time.
Yes. Yes. And that, the most surprising thing for me, and something that I really like to emphasize, is that money doesn't taint the relationship that we build. It really doesn't. I know that for a fact, and that doesn't have anything to do with kinky stuff. I know that as a longtime coach, getting paid to pay attention doesn't taint the friendship that grows, the relationship that grows. The passing back and forth of money doesn't reduce my affection, my curiosity, my delight in whatever it is that we're creating together. And I love the ongoing relationships where the guy really gets that too, that we're delighting in each other, that we're having so much fun with each other.
I really like that, because I feel like it is that it's the idea that people have that like there being any sort of transactional piece to this makes it less authentic. It's like that, but nobody ever thinks of it that way when they're having like a genuine, like if you had a genuine connection to your barista, to the person that just you see every morning as you're getting your breakfast, that's still a transaction. You would not be in that situation if it was not for that transaction. And yet you genuinely enjoy each other's company. You actually have fun saying good morning to each other and seeing each other. And it seems to be only when we bring any sort of kink or sex element into it that we think, in order for it to have real meaning, it has to be free. And it's like, why though? Like, walk me through why. So when it comes to, so first of all, I have to know, how'd you find out about Shop Quinky? How did you find us?
Oh, it was 100% you on TikTok. I ran into you. I don't know, you were working with another brand at some point,
Mm-hmm.
and that relationship had just ended, and you had come to Mr. Pierre.
Uh-huh.
And one of your educational videos ran across my TikTok, and I started to follow you. And then, from there I found it. As soon as they announced Shop Quinky, I signed up. I was like,
Oh, I
I'm
love
a yes.
that.
I'm a huge yes. I'm a
I love
nerd
it.
for platforms, and that predates the kink world. All the different shopping carts and systems I've ever used to market myself online. I love getting in on the ground floor and being part of something. So
I love that. Well, I
it was all
appreciate you getting in on the ground floor of this. That's kind of amazing. I love that.
I just know that there's a place for me, and I'm in. Like,
Exactly. Well, and that's what's also kind of nice about being, some of the people that are in on the ground floor is that, with like the Discord and stuff like that, where we can actually talk to people, we can get that sort of feedback of like, this is part of what was really frustrating about this platform. I'd love it if we didn't have to do this, or if we could have this, or here's what worked really well. And we can kind of hear the community that we're trying to build this for, because that's keeping that community at kind of the center point of that is what kind of built that passion for us is like,
yes.
All right, how do we build this for the community, for the community? And so like
Yes.
I love the people like you who do want to be part of it because it is brand new, because you can be in there for the beginning of it, giving that feedback, participating in it, being kind of the innovative like arm of that whole thing. So when it comes to your content on Shop Quinky, are you planning on doing kind of the same stuff that you've been doing? Are you doing something? Are you just doing only one specific part, like, financial domination? Or are you kind of just bringing over everything and anything that you've been doing?
I'm not sure. I love to create content that gives somebody a taste of me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to bring a taste of me to to the platform, and I'm excited about a platform where there's a safe place to get paid and not worry about, I know a lot of that sparked the creation of Quinky was the way that other platforms will be kink friendly for a while and then go whoop, pull the rug out from under you.
Yeah. Yeah. And the nice part is it's your content. Like, that's kind of what we're trying to build, is a place where at any point you can be like, I feel like I'd like to add this to the things that I do, because that's what we're kind of coming across with some of those other sites is they're very friendly about a few things, but then as soon as something else rears its head, that they're like, and it seems to be the theme is like, we don't understand that, so no. And it's like, what, you don't have to understand it for it to be valid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I appreciate that. So the question that I have been asking everybody that kind of, and we kind of touched a little bit on it already, but if Shop Quinky were just to launch fully functional, like lights on tomorrow, your, content page is fully up, people know where you are, what is the thing that you are most excited about? It's a very loaded question, I know.
Well, there's a blurry line for me between what I do with my clients and my love for collaborating, meeting and supporting contemporaries. I'm really excited about seeing what other people are doing, supporting other people. I'm just full of curiosity. I can't wait to see it and experience it. Like, what I do is so different from many content creators in the spicy world from what I see, in that I'm not doing anything graphic for anyone. It's all about power exchange and playing with what drives you,
it's the power of the mind.
Yeah.
I think it's a really fun reminder for people to see in a fun way, rather than just somebody telling them, it doesn't have to be like that they can see how customizable kink is. That, like you said, you're not doing anything, overtly graphic. There are people that do, and it's wonderful. And there's an absolute following for them. But there are people that the headspace, the mind play, the mindset, that's where they want to be. And that's kind of your focal point. And yet it is still absolutely kink. It is just as valid as every other kink. Like, it's kind of nice for people to see that their play can look like anything from one end to the other on this. And that they can be, if they want to do it like you are doing as a career, that they can be successful in it. They don't have to do explicit stuff if they're not comfortable doing that, or they just don't want to. Because there's always going to be people that's not where the payoff to their kink is rooted in, as you have been able to show.
I do collaborate in a way with a lot of other content creators. They just don't know I'm collaborating with them, in that I am not a young, beautiful girl with a tight ass. I often assign video viewing to my clients. I'll say, go watch her, go tip her, go thank her for denying her ass to you. Go thank her for not being available to you. Like, and that I do that without the other creator knowing that that's happening, because we don't have, it's a weird space I've discovered where if I reach out to a creator on many platforms and say, I want to send someone over, they're suspicious.
Yeah.
And I hope that there is going to be some ways with Quinky to do that, to send people over and to have them go, oh, look, Mari's sending someone over to tip me. She's not trying to fuck me over. She's not trying to poach off me. She's doing this. Yeah. And that is fun.
Which I love because,
I love,
especially if there's content that is being viewed, it means that they are making that content to be viewed. You're not trying to pirate around
yeah,
them. You're just sending that person
yeah,
over to them in the same manner that they would be there if they found their way there organically. You are just making it
yeah,
part of your play to pull that into it. And I know that on Quinky, especially, there's going to be a lot more understanding around that because you're already kind of into the realm of kink mindset, and that sort of push and pull absolutely is already present in a lot of things that we're doing. And so to hear somebody
yeah,
say, hey, I know that you're already creating this content. If you get an influx of people, I am using, your page to tell people like, hey, go to them. And it still is working out for them financially because they're, having to pay for their content. And it's working out for
yeah,
you because you were the one that bossed them around to send them there in
yeah.
the first place.
Yes, yes.
So,
It,
Mari, tell everybody where they can find you. Other than Shop Quinky, where can people find you?
so I do have a website, bigmarisella.com is my home base. That's for anybody who's looking to reach out for some one-on-one time, exploring a power exchange of some kind with me. And then my where I got started, my friend referred me to Night Flirt. So Night Flirt is the platform that where I got my sea legs, and I am still there. I'm still there, but I'm also podcasting. I have a podcast called Phone Sex Show, and that is a podcast where I talk about all kinds of things that happen on calls without ever like
Right.
actually putting anybody in any kind of situation. But sometimes I also interview other professional goddesses about what they're doing with guys on calls.
I love that. I did
And
get to
then,
see little like clips that you had uploaded onto your Instagram with that. I
yeah.
love how it sounded.
For fellow creators, I also have a podcast called Sensual Abundance. And over there, I talk about the mindset of being abundant in this work. I have a huge heart for other content creators who at the end of the day feel like they didn't take care of themselves and they didn't make good money. And that I believe like every day of the year is not perfect. But if you're consistently coming to your content creation, feeling drained, fucked over, like that's a mindset issue. And I love to speak into creators' lives about how to tap into a deep sense of abundance. Take
Love
care
that.
of yourself as you're creating your content.
I love that. I definitely know a lot of people that have said that they struggle with that or that they just are trying to be more mindful of that. So I love that you have that as something that you have kind of put out there. Well, Mari, thank you so much for joining me. This has been super
Thank
fun. I
you,
cannot wait to get
Moxie.
this together and get this up and broadcasted. And I can't wait to see what you do with your content on Shop Quinky and the way that you're able to connect to other creators.
Thank you so much for having
Thank
me.
you.